Hello, everybody. Welcome to my fifth podcast that I have been doing um, on depression with difficult days. And, you know, so this past week for me has been an interesting time also because um, it just occurred to me that the other day, um, 2 days ago, it was 32 years that my brother did pass away. And, I was thinking about that and thinking about how, his memory is still alive inside of my head. I can still remember those days and everything that happened. But I think that is part of what life is about. It's the teacher. Life is the teacher. Um, and I just think of it that's another way that um, people remain in our lives or in our heart. Um, in some way, it might be the way that some people believe in reincarnation. I do believe in it because I believe that there is not enough time to do everything we want to do in this lifetime while we're here. We can do a lot, but there is just not enough time, the way it looks to me, because I've spent a whole lifetime trying to heal myself and do all of these different things. You know, and I think I've done a lot, but, you know, there's always more work to do. And like I said, um, so, and with my mother's death, it was very different in the way that her life ended. And it was traumatic, but on the other hand, she did have a peaceful funeral, a peaceful send off. I did get to say goodbye to her, um, and have good closing with her. But what I have to say is that, because in each case, it's been different for me. Even with my father, it has been very different because in his case, it wasn't so easy, perfect, peaceful. And the reason why is because, well, I'll tell you why. Because he was in Chicago, I was in Las Vegas. Some of my family members, the rest of them are in Chicago, and he was in an assisted living facility when he did contract a COVID. When he contracted COVID, and within 2 weeks of that, he passed away um, on November 18th. And that's another thing that's interesting about that is that he died on the exact date of my real mother's and father anniversary. So there's always something that happens that makes me think it's a little extra thing that happens, and it's a way that either my mother's communicating or other spirits are saying, yeah, we've been waiting for him or whatever. Um, but it was the exact day that they got married, and he died in 2020. He was 97 years old. He really did get to live a wonderful long life. My mother died like in 1998, so he was, alone a long time, but not too long before he did get remarried, and it created a whole other bunch of issues, like a new um, wife for him was a stepmother for all of us, and her children, and there was just a lot of dysfunction in that family, more than even in our own. But you know, it's just sad that that's what he chose to do, and he created a lot of rifts between my brother and sister, and it wasn't as easy as it could have been. Um, but and on the other hand, I was living in Las Vegas, and I wasn't easy for me to get to Chicago because during COVID, I was going through my own issues because of immunity and going through treatment for radiation and immune therapy. And my immune system was very low, and I thought, um, I can't get on a plane. And the communication wasn't good. And because my brother left me a message when my father died and it really irritated me. And I thought, you know what? I'm not able to make a lot of changes, or am I willing to do a lot of other things? And really, I had no bandwidth to deal with any of it at this point. So I didn't want I did not have the emotional energy or the ability to try to go to Chicago, and it just would have been too exhausting. And in the end, I would have gotten COVID and got very sick. So I just decided, no, I'm not doing it. And but no one tried to see if I wanted to do anything or I wanted to mention anything and like I kind of thought about it, and what I did is I just put some stuff up on Facebook to remember my father and put something on the thing that you can sign at the funeral home online. Um, and it would have been nice if they would have created this thing where you can see the funeral in the church, like many of the churches now do. Um, but what I realize is the communication with my brother and sister is just not there. He's 4 years older, she's 4 years younger. I'm in the middle on this island that is not clear one way or the other of how they communicate, and they're both very different. And you know what? I kind of gave up on trying to deal with them and learning that it's more important for me to deal and take care of myself at this point because that is what this is about. It's about working through my own issues, my own depression, and dealing with them is not allowing me to do that, does not allow me to get better. So I'm glad that it ended up the way it did, um, and that I didn't have to go back. And really, to this day, I haven't talked to either one of them. Um, I've kind of thought about it on and off, but you know, I was close to them in growing up, and as we got older, life changed. We all moved on. I moved to California, which was the best thing I could have ever done. Um, Leaving Chicago was difficult, but like I have to say, I do miss the concerts. I miss the free culture there, the museums that the city has to offer. Some of the best restaurants you can find of every nationality, including I love the Greek restaurants there. So, I tried to remain close over the years to my sister, and but I love her. I just question some of her beliefs and her path, and for that reason, I've remained, um, unable to communicate at this point or non-communicative with both my brother and sister because I feel like I'm really just the extra thing to deal with. And they really don't want to talk to me. I've talked with them on the phone. Then, and it's the subject is either being changed or it always goes back to them. And they never really ask me questions about where I'm at or what I'm doing. So I kind of have let go of that need for family that's non-existent. Because what I realize today is the most important part of my life today is taking care of myself, taking care of what my needs are, tending to my depression, and the other issues that come along with cancer, side effects, and all the other things that I wasn't expecting to have to deal with at this point in my life. But what's important to me is staying happy and content as I can be in my own life. If my family does not really want to talk to me, I'm okay with it. And what I also have to say is COVID made it a lot easier for people to let go um, of family members who they don't really like or are unable to talk to anyway. So it just helped clear a lot of issues up. And so it isn't just for me. I know it's for many people I hear talk about it. But I just have to get a drink here. I've also I've learned that we're always working things out in some way, um, in some different forms and areas of our life. Whether we work in a store, whether we're on the street with somebody, we are all dealing with the same people. Usually they're just like our family, and they tend to come run into us at different times. If not, then we end up with them on the phone, having those same relationships that are difficult. So, what I know today is I have to take the time to honor myself, honor my pain, and deal with it the best way I can. Because as I do that, I've learned that that's the best way for me to deal with what I have. And sometimes I don't want to deal with it. Um, and I think that's how you can become depressed also, is because somebody told me, "Oh, well, you have a very high pain tolerance." That is not always good to hear, because that also means that you sweep things under the rug, that you might not tend to your pain as much. One of the things that's happened to me recently is I have to take this medication injection every 6 months for osteoporosis. And the last injection I took was about a month ago. And after that, this past month, it's been bad because I've experienced this pain in both of my shoulders that I've never had at the same time. Um, and no matter what I do to stretch, or all of this is not helping. So what I've learned also is that, so the body changes, we change, our body changes, and as time changes, medication can affect us differently. Our body changes, the way we metabolize it. So, and it is okay not to know all the answers. I think as a nurse, I think like I tend to look them up and this and that. I don't always know the best route to take. So sometimes I have to um, call the doctor and ask, or get an appointment and see what's best for me to take at this point, um, to deal with pain and to deal with the issue itself, so I don't take it out on other people around me, and because that's not good, and including myself. Um, so we all deserve to get the care we need, and at whatever level that is, right? So that is why I'm doing this podcast, is because it is the real things in life that happen. This is the real part of what's going on in my life. Life is a series of events and circumstances that are always changing. They're never the same. And so, and the only thing I can do is the best I can in this moment. And as I do that, I get better. I get better at dealing with it. Um, not perfect, not perfect, but better at cleaning up my own messes, dealing with the people in my life. So I just wanted to say that an affirmation today that I sometimes look at, that I have made for myself. Um, we unite in harmony, joy, and love. Our fortune manifests now. The appearance of money is the demonstration. We continue to magnetize and attract our abundance in relationships and we live in generosity daily. Generosity, grace, and there's one more thing. Grace, generosity, and abundance. And those are the things that come to me when I think of that. So, we just have to hang in there and get through some of these days sometimes and do the best we can. And that's why I say it's depression with difficult days, because I'm having some difficult days right now, but it doesn't mean I can't function. It means I can still function, maybe not at the level I always want to, but I can function. And I think that's the key in what I've learned and how in dealing with depression this is. So, yes, a lot of things have changed in the family. My life has changed tremendously, and I'm going to be talking about that in the next episodes of 6, 7, 8, and 9 about what has happened in the past few years here that has tremendously changed my life and view on life. So I want to thank all the people that do listen, um, and I hope that it helps the people that listen in some way, because it's helping me to get it out there and to share it. So thanks for listening, and have a great day, and talk to you soon. Bye bye.